Buenos dias, hola mi gente. How have you guys been? I wanted to show you that. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know what that is. Our anniversary just passed recently. We have now been together, Casey and I, for 9 whole years. We've been married for 4 years, we've been together for 9. We like to count from the beginning because we moved in together since like the 6-month mark, so it's pretty much like we've been married this entire time. But yeah, so on our wedding day in Paris when we got married, we actually forgot to take a photo of the 3 of us, like Casey, Isaac, and I. Every time I think about our wedding and every time I look at our wedding photos, I'm always like so angry and sad, all these emotions because of the fact that we didn't get a photo of the 3 of us. I know people were wondering on my Instagram, like, how come you guys didn't get a picture of the 3 of you? Well, what happened was that day we just like turned our brains off and we were like, okay, well, we were just doing whatever the wedding planner was telling us to do. We were posing for whatever photos the photographer had us pose for, and like we didn't request anything. We were just like going with the flow. Yeah, like we just completely forgot to ask for a photo of the 3 of us. So part of me is like low-key kind of placing, I don't want to say the blame, but like I'm a little bit peeved that the photographer didn't think of taking a photo of the 3 of us, I guess is what I should say. But ultimately though, it was my fault. If I wanted it, I should have asked for it, and I totally forgot. So anyway, all these years, I'm always like, dang it, I wish we had a photo of the 3 of us. And so Casey was so freaking sweet and romantic, and he actually painted this. He said that he hid for let me ask him. Well, first of all, here's a close-up of it. Look how beautiful. Look at this. He did that. He painted that. You painted that for me.
Yes, I did.
You gave it to me for our anniversary.
Yes, I did. It's actually the first time I've ever like crafted anything for you as a gift.
I know, that was so sweet, and I absolutely loved it. And then I was crying my eyes out. It was so funny because I was just like, oh my god, it's the 3 of us. You actually painted the 3 of us. You got us our portrait that we just...
You knew what's up.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's so sweet. So tell me all about your thought process, like how you were able to paint this without me even knowing. I was really impressed on the fact that you spent 2 months, you said?
Yeah, about 2 months. I mean, it's not 2 months of painting, it's just 2 months of hiding mainly, and then maybe a couple of days worth of painting, because it's like I really just had to wait for you to leave, and so it was like small spurts of like planning like how it's gonna be framed and like the composition and stuff, and then like I drew it for a couple of days, but like that's like really just a couple of hours. Once I started painting, that was actually the trickiest part, because I would wait for you to leave for your errands, and then I would have to paint, but then I'd have to like kind of guesstimate like when you'd be back, and I'd be like 1 hour before that I need to stop painting because I need it so it can dry, so I can like hide it somewhere and I won't like smear paint everywhere.
Oh,
so yeah, it was and I know I'm like kind of notorious for like not being the best at like surprises. I have a terrible poker face, and like I just give things away, so I'm like really happy that I was able to pull this one off.
Yeah, you
like,
totally did.
There's a couple times where you were like in the garage just like rummaging through things. I was like,
oh, because that's where you had to hit.
Yeah.
I know, it's so funny because every time he tries to surprise me with something, like it'll be like a tiny little detail that he could, like you could easily get away with playing it cool, but because of that one little detail hiccup or something, you end up panicking.
It gets tense.
And then you're just like, and you're like, okay, fine, here's the truth. And I'm like, that was so easy to cover up, but okay. Yeah, so no, I'm really proud of you for pulling this one off too.
Yes.
So good. You were saying that you had an accomplice.
Yes, Isaac was my accomplice. I would find times when you were in the house. I was actually like, that's really ballsy now that I'm thinking back at it. I was like, should have just waited for when you left, but like sometimes you were still in the house, but you're like, I knew you were busy with something very specific.
I almost never leave too, so if it was just...
Exactly, that was the hardest part. It's like, you're just here. And then we go to Jake and News together too, and so we're like, we're always together. It's really hard to find time alone.
We really are always together.
So yeah, so in the beginning it was just like, oh, I knew you were busy, and I would tell Isaac, hey, if mommy comes down to the garage, you text me ASAP. And then if she's asking where I'm at, just tell her that I'm working out. And I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna be out of breath. that was our game plan.
I didn't know that.
Actually, one time you came down. You were like, where were you? I was like, oh man, I was in the garage. I just finished doing some burpees.
I do remember that. I do remember that. So you were lying?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how cute. That was good. You actually came through. All those times of failing the lie, like it built up to that.
Yes, exactly.
So you were finally able
but I'm
to
like,
do it.
secretly, I'm like, I'm not even sweating. I'm like, it looks so fake.
Imagine I came over and like tried hugging you. I'm like, wait, your heart rate is at a resting rate.
Yeah. No, it'd be like really high actually. Because I'd be like, oh my god, I'm actually gonna find out the truth.
That's so funny. But yeah, so you're also saying that the painting, you still want to finish it? It's not done?
Yeah, I want to take it back down to like the basics of it and switch like the color palette. I want it to be less out of the tube, if that makes any sense. Like a lot of the colors are like out of the tube, and I didn't really have a lot of time to like find mix it and find a palette I wanted. I want some like really unique colors and unique tones in there, and I just didn't have time to like find it. If I kept everything as it is, I just gotta do your wedding dress, and then there's a French flag I need to paint it. That's it.
Oh yeah.
This is a composite of 3 different photographs of one photograph of me, one photograph of Tiff, and one of Isaac. And I found one with me looking that way, and Isaac looking this way. And I figured that'd be really cute, so we're both looking at Tiff, who is, you know, like she's the star of the day, you know?
Oh, tell them about the background that you picked.
Oh, right. So I found this background, like a photo, and I was like, oh, that's cool. We got the Eiffel Tower, got the flag in there. It looks really Parisian. Perfect. I paint it, not thinking anything much of it, and then I give it to Tiff, and she's like, oh my gosh, you even included the one alleyway we did wedding photos at.
Yeah, so the day after our wedding, we actually booked the photographer, and like we got ourselves made up just like as if it was the wedding day the previous day, and we actually rented out a car too. And we drove all around Paris taking photos. Like it's supposed to be like, you know, very Parisian photo shoot. And one of the locations that the photographer took us to was this exact place. So I'm like, oh my god, you even got the exact place where we took photos. And then you were like, oh really? I just googled the place. I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. Every morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm brushing my teeth right here, and I'm just like staring at it the whole time. I'm like, I love it so much. Like the best gift ever.
Actually, this experience has made me want to do more paintings.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, like I felt really fulfilled for some reason. I was like, this is like...
Because it's part of your identity, like being an artist, like doing art,
so, yeah.
And like used to paint a lot.
This is like refreshing, it's different.
Yeah, it's your art. It's a piece of you.
So maybe I'll paint more, and maybe we'll have like a whole like museum in
yeah, we can replace the store-bought stuff.
True.
And actually make it more meaningful with your art.
Help me with some subject matter though, because I think the hardest part about painting, right, for me, it's like I don't really know what I want to paint. For this, it was like, oh, here's like a really sentimental idea, and like that gave me the idea to paint that. But like normally I'd be like, I paint a plant.
I know what you should paint next. Oh my gosh, I have a perfect idea. Our cats. Zoe and Maya, a portrait of Zoe and Maya, but like at the beach, like with some like palm trees and stuff, and then we can hang it over here. Look, hang it right there.
Oh, okay. You wanted long ways or landscape? Portrait?
Long ways.
Portrait, okay.
Could be a portrait of this guy and his sister. Also, we don't have any artwork of you. All right guys, it's lunchtime now, and we're going to be preparing some delicious food from today's sponsor. Thank you, Green Chef, for sponsoring today's video. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable, with plans to fit every lifestyle like vegan, vegetarian, paleo, and keto. Their expert chefs design flavorful recipes that go beyond ordinary substitutions. Recipes are quick and easy. They give you step-by-step instructions, chef tips, and photos to guide you along. Their ingredients come perfectly portioned, pre-measured, and mostly prepped, which is really good because I'm bad at prepping. It's super easy and convenient. Everything is hand-picked and delivered straight to your door, so there's no need to take a trip to the grocery store. And I didn't know this, but Green Chef is actually owned by HelloFresh, which we already love and enjoy in this household. So it's really cool to switch between brands and get to try something different that we haven't tried before. So I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love it. It makes cooking so easy. It makes my husband happy that he finally has a wife who is in the kitchen. Right?
Yeah,
you almost fell.
Yeah.
So make sure to go to greenchef.us/90tiffcase and use code 90tiffcase for $90 off your very first box plus free shipping. Once again, that's greenchef.us/90tiffcase. Use code 90tiffcase to get $90 off plus free shipping on your very first box. And enjoy.
to a Friends reunion.
Yes, we are on our way to Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is where the event is going to take place. And shout outs to Nikki because she invited us, so thank you, Nikki. She was invited to go to this event, and she was allowed to take 5 of her closest friends with her. And so she invited, obviously, you know, Gina and Jess as well, but Jess is in the middle of moving right now. So she's like, no way can I make this event, that's way too stressful. She's actually leaving this week. And so she's packing right now, super busy. Gina was like, oh, I actually have a friend that worked on the show, so I'm good. So we're like, okay. So then that's why Casey's able to come now. And so it's gonna be me, Casey, or Nikki, Steve, me, Casey, and Steve's brother and his girlfriend. So that's the 6 of us that are gonna be there. And right now we're gonna go and meet them up at the cemetery. The cemetery is actually really cool. You've never been, huh?
No, it's my first time going to the cemetery to watch anything.
Yeah, so at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, it's a really famous cemetery because that's where a lot of famous people are resting. They also have this event called Sinispia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's this really cool event where you can come to the cemetery, bring your own picnic, like your own blankets, pillows, and all that stuff, and then they have this huge projector, and then you can watch movies. And I've actually been there once when Isaac was like 3 years old, I think. I came with my friend Leslie and Isaac, and we were all just watching a movie, and I really can't remember what movie was playing, but I have a feeling it was like The Wedding Singer or something. I really don't remember, but it was a really fun event. And now I get to come back, but this time with Casey.
And friends.
Yeah, and friends to watch a Friends reunion. Yeah, it's pretty cool because Friends, the show Friends, has always been one of my favorite shows growing up. And for my the first birthday that I got to spend with Casey, he actually got me the Friends DVD set as my birthday gift.
Back when DVDs were still a thing.
I know. And it's funny because I've tried watching it because I feel bad if I just never opened it. And so like I've tried watching a few episodes here and there like throughout the years, but it's just not as easy as like streaming because now we have Friends on Netflix, I think.
Yeah.
Or
HBO.
Oh, now it's HBO.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's just easier streaming. But I still have the Friends DVD collection because I just never wanted to get rid of it because it was the very first birthday gift that Casey ever gave me, and I thought it was really thoughtful. So I still have it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Actually, I tried watching the show a couple days ago, and I was like, oh man, this is really outdated. Like a lot of the jokes are really outdated. And I don't know if it's my age. I mean, obviously, just as a society, we've all kind of changed our perspective on a lot of different subjects, and I think a lot of us kind of cringe when we watch that show now. But I also see it from like a 31-year-old's lens versus a 7-year-old's lens, because that's when I first watched the show.
You were 7 when you first started watching Friends?
I remember I was like 7 or 8. Yeah, it was like 97, 98.
Would you, as a parent now, would you let your 7-year-old watch Friends in the 90s?
You know, my mom wasn't even around. Like it was me and my closest friend. We would watch Friends after school because they would be playing like after school.
I remember it played later. It played later.
It was like at 7 or 8 p.m. or something. Yeah. But that's how late I stayed at my friend's house because my mom was working, so she would pick me up after school at her house. And yeah, like I remember we would first watch. It was first like Pokemon. It would come on, and then later on it was like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then Sister, and then
I liked watching
Friends.
Smart Guy.
Oh yeah, Smart Guy. That was on Disney Channel, I think.
Was it?
I don't remember.
It was on UPN for me, I think.
Oh yeah, right. But yeah, so like I don't know, we just watched a whole bunch of shows, and just after doing homework, you know, we just kill time and wait for my mom to pick me up. But yeah, so watching the show now, like with a different perspective, I'm like, whoa, these jokes are so outdated. So I'm like, oh man. But it still holds like a special place in my heart because you know, it's nostalgic. So I would not blame kids these days. Like Isaac, for example, we tried getting Isaac to watch it because he's watched Friends. We just finished watching Modern Family, which we absolutely loved. And I don't know, just Friends was just like a show that was always near and dear to me because I grew up with it. And so I tried showing it to him, and Isaac's like, yeah, the show isn't funny. Like, I'm not about it. And then I was watching it with him. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't blame you. It's so outdated. I get it. Go ahead and keep watching your Family Guy. He likes watching that too. And then honestly, I'm not very comfortable that he's watching that show. But I'm like, okay, he's 13 now. I can't shelter him forever. Like, all right, fine, go ahead and watch Family Guy. But I wish he wasn't watching that show. But it's not like Friends is any better either. I mean, they have a lot of inappropriate jokes in that show. Probably.
True. Like watching it back now, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a lot more risque than I remember it to be. I used to think it was like not risque at all.
Really? Not at all? I knew it was risque. I remember being a child thinking like, they're talking about sex. Anyway, we're getting closer now, so I'll see you there. All right, we just parked. We are ready for this event. This is so cool because look, they gave us a little program, and then it says that we get concessions, a New York style dinner, photo booths, along with drinks on us. I'm like, Joey, we like to share food. How cute is that? I know, right? Like, I wonder if we're getting pizza,
pasta. Did we get some coffee from Central Perk?
I know. I wonder what we're getting.
I know my friends' references.
Nice. All right, let's go see what we can find Steve and Nikki and Steve's brother and his girlfriend.